I don't know if you guys have seen the Lakers fedora for the playoffs. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Got a fedora for the playoffs, basically. Lakers win, we go. I mean, of course you throw the fedora on. What else am I going to have it for? I don't think I bring this thing. I don't think I've brought this thing out in probably 3 years. What do you think is going to happen here? We get a W, fedora comes on. What is this? Amateur hour? You guys know. You guys know the rules. Now, granted, it was probably a giveaway from a really long time ago, but I saved it back there. It's sitting back there. All right, Lake fans, appreciate it. I don't know how to do the uppercuts. The uppercut's not good. I'm more of a jabber. You know what I mean? 14 calories right there. When I'm on the elliptical later today, I'm going to do 14 calories less. All right, Lake fans, appreciate you guys being a part of the show. That's only game one. What the hell do I do? You know, the problem is I'm shooting all my shots in game one. And then what am I going to do when it's like game 6? What happens from there? All right, one game at a time, as people are starting to say here. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. I just want to give it a quick second, let people start coming in. The Laker fedora here. Got a lot to get into, Lake fans. Got a lot to get into. Lot to get into. I love how people say you're late, but it's okay because Lakers won, so I get a free pass. Okay. All right, I'll take the free pass. What do we got here? I'm going to read off a couple of these comments here real quick, and then we're going to get started. I got a lot to get into. Who's this Yahoo? Huh? Who's this guy? What a loser. All right. I might as well get in the chats as well. You know what I mean? If you guys are going to come after me. Okay. Appreciate you guys all being a part of the show. Let's get started here. Couple things I want to get into. I just want to get into the overall game. Lakers looked fresh. Lakers looked good. The role players, all the different weapons that they have. I'll spend some time talking about Rui. I'll spend some time talking about Austin Reeves. I'll spend some time of how demoralizing a game like this has to be for the Memphis Grizzlies. Tim McMahon, who covers the NBA for ESPN, he had some comments that I think were interesting as far as Ja Morant, and not comments. He just had some tweets. Ja Morant obviously interviewed after the game. Ja Morant is a true question mark for coming up Wednesday, and I don't really see a reason why the Lakers can't walk back to crypto up 2-0, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. So I want to give my overall thoughts on the game first. Once I do that, I'll start looking at the comments, and we could take it from there. 128-112, the final score. Okay, first things first, Laker fans. If you guys remember the last, couple of days, I just kept talking about how I think what the Lakers needed more than anything else was just rest. And they got it. That's why Tuesday was so big against Minnesota. You won that game and you avoided having to play another game and then potentially start tonight against the Denver Nuggets. They got 4 days of rest. And that was, if the Lakers were going to look gassed today in this game, well, you're never going to have more rest unless maybe you sweep a series and you go from there. But they looked incredibly, incredibly fresh today. And that to me was the most encouraging part. It's like, okay, hey, that last week and a half of the season where they weren't playing good basketball, that probably had more to do with just your gas tank is on empty than it did that the Lakers have real problems or real issues. And today was a great example that just needed a breather, needed a second to just catch their breath and then let them go back and do what they could potentially do against the Memphis Grizzlies. And I feel like that had a lot to do with today's game. A lot with today's game looked like a team that was fresh. They were ready. They had a chance to get the proper amount of rest. They had the chance to let their bodies heal a little bit, and they were ready to go come tip-off. Now, that doesn't mean that the game was perfect. It doesn't mean that teams don't go on runs. I think in the second half, at one point, Minnesota took an 8-point lead, but Lakers responded right away. But they looked fresh. So I just want to get that one out of the way because this team plays 4 games in 13 days. 4 games in 13 days. The playoff schedule that the Lakers have in front of them is so much more advantageous than the regular season schedule. So that's only going to play to their advantage. Granted, as the series goes, you're going to get less time off. But to start this series, there's a lot of time off for the Lakers. Even game 2 is until Wednesday. Game 3 is until Saturday. So you really, really do have some time in between these games, which I think you can clearly tell worked to the Lakers' advantage. Okay, so if you're just tuning in right now, so you're not wondering what the hell Slee were wearing, just a little fedora action here. Listen, there's certain things you don't bring out just for game 47 of the regular season. Let's get to the postseason. Somebody said I need a cigar. By the way, you're not wrong. Maybe I would take something else, but okay. Let's just put that to the side. Okay, now for the actual game. Laker fans, I'm going to get your comments. I know we got a lot of them, but just let me do my thing here real quick. What do you do if you're another team? What do you do? And I'm trying to explain this as best as I can. If you're the Memphis Grizzlies, what do you do if you feel like, hey, you know what? We feel like Anthony Davis isn't going off tonight. Hey, you know what? We feel like LeBron James is not going off today. That both of those players on offense, what do you do when you're looking at both of those players and you're looking at the box score and you're saying to yourself, okay, AD had 22 points, was 10 of 17 and only took 2 free throws. LeBron was 21 points, took 16 shots, and was 2 of 4 from the free throw line. So between both of those players, they get 43 points, Lakers do. And only 6 free throw attempts between LeBron and Anthony Davis. This is what I'm talking about, just demoralizing. Because when you feel like you control the 2 stars of the other player, where they don't go off, Bron didn't drop 40, AD didn't have 38 points or something like that, right? And you still get outscored by 20 points in the second half, 22 points in the second half. If you're Memphis, you're saying, what the hell do you want? What are we supposed to do? This is what makes the Lakers so incredibly dangerous. And there was a caller in the post-game show that I thought made a good point. I think it was Don, City of Industry. And he said that today's game reminded him of when Robert Horry would hit big shots, or Derek Fisher would hit big shots, or Rick Fox would come through. And then I started adding Brian Shaws of the world. Go back to the Trevor Ariza, Meta World Peace, Sasha. Can't get Sasha on, guys. It's just not going to happen. Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo, Danny Green. That all teams, Kyle Kuzma, all playoff teams have role players that come through. And for the Lakers, for LeBron and Anthony Davis to not do anything crazy today, and the Lakers still win by 16. I know the game was a lot closer. It just kind of really started opening up there late in the fourth quarter. I understand that. But that's got to be so demoralizing because Rui Hachimura can come in off the bench, and I'm not telling you he's going to do this every game. He dropped 29 points for the Lakers, played 30 minutes, hit 5 threes, 11-14 from the field. What are you supposed to do when they say, okay, hey, pick your poison? I'm going to let Rui shoot, and Rui's hitting the shots. What are you supposed to do if you're the Memphis Grizzlies and Austin Reeves has the ball in his hands in critical situations of the game? And he's doing a little screen and roll, pick and roll action with Anthony Davis. And Bron is just chilling on the side like, hey, if you guys need me, I'm right here. Good luck with everything. But I'm your escape valve. I'm plan B if plan A doesn't work. What do you do if you're the Memphis Grizzlies? It was Austin Reeves hitting a 3. It was Austin Reeves getting to the bucket and hitting tough shots. It was Austin Reeves getting to the free throw line. It was Austin Reeves setting up throwing a behind-the-back pass to Rui Hachimura. What do you do if you're the Memphis Grizzlies if they got that many other players that can also contribute? And D'Angelo Russell, who I'm not telling you had a perfect game, he had 19 and 7. Dennis Schroeder came through for the Lakers in the last game because D'Lo wasn't playing well. They got so many options. That's what I mean by that's got to be so demoralizing for the Memphis Grizzlies. You played 82 games this year, and you did all of that in those 82 games to get home court advantage. And in one 48-minute game, it's gone. Just like that, it's gone. That home court advantage that you earned, everything that you obviously put into play, it's gone that quick. That is unbelievably not just demoralizing for the Memphis Grizzlies, but incredibly, it's got to give you a lot of optimism if you're a Laker fan out there. So I just want to point that out because that's what stood out to me. The other thing that I want to make mention of here, real quick, you look up and down this box score for the Lakers, you look up and down what these players did. Do you know between Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they had 10 block shots, and 5 steals. 10 block shots and 5 steals between those guys. Anthony Davis had 7 block shots and 3 steals. What does that even mean? That's usually like you look at team stats and you say, okay, what did the team have? Oh, the team had 7 blocks. 7 blocks and 3 steals. He had 12 rebounds as well. LeBron had 21 points, 3 blocks, 5 assists, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals. I'm not telling you those players were perfect tonight, but I liked me some, hey, I see what Austin Reeves is doing. I see what Rui's doing. Let's feed the guys. I heard Braun in the postgame basically say, why would we go away from something that's working? And that's one thing that I kind of stepped away with today as well. It wasn't Darvin Ham being what NBA coaches do. Well, I'm going to take this player out because it's time to take this player out. Or, you know what? Rui didn't start the game, so I'm just going to go back to Jared Vanderbilt. I'm going to put Vanderbilt in the game. He did not do that. He did. There's a lot of times where I think common sense is not common in coaching, or it's not common in sports in general. Some guy hits 3 straight threes and then you sub him out. It's like, why the hell would you do that? And I thought the Lakers star players stepped to the side when they felt like they needed to, and the coaching staff rode the guys that were playing the best. So those are my initial thoughts on the game. Let's get to some of your guys' comments right here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Exactly. Somebody just said that on there. Damn, got a lot going on here. Francis Mendoza. Love how Bron and AD set the tone defensively, then D'Lo, Reeves, and Hachimura on offense. Great win. It's a great team win, Laker fans. And that's the part that I like emphasizing the most, because for the last couple years, before the trade deadline, before this past trade deadline, the Lakers didn't have a team. They didn't have a team. They didn't have guys where you could look at and you could say, okay, LeBron and AD are taking so much on their shoulders. Okay, if one of them obviously are not playing well, then it's all right. How much are the Lakers going to lose by? Team, I think, is the proper word. So that's a lot of what it looks like. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, let's, Sliwa, sure, let's go. Slee, where's the cigar? I might have something different. Can I smoke something different that's not a cigar? All right, let's keep going here. This is good. This might gain some steam here. Fedora Nation. This could gain a little bit. This could get something here. All right, let's see what else we got here. How good was Rui, by the way? By the way, listening to this guy in the post-game show, he came on 710 with Michael and John. That's an easy guy to root for. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but that's an easy guy to root for. He keeps talking about how, since he got traded to the Lakers, there's this confidence that the team is giving him. There's this, if you're open, you shoot the freaking ball. And there's got to be something with, a lot of these players where you don't have to second guess yourself. You don't have to hesitate. You don't have to say, is Bron going to give me a dirty look if I shoot this, I shoot that? This guy came from a, organization with the Wizards and just came into a really good situation where his skill set is so needed for the Lakers. And Yeah, he's making it happen, taking complete advantage of that opportunity. So I love seeing that. Rest is key, no question about it. The rest for the Lakers, obviously, is as big as it gets for the Lakers and so much needed. Let's see what we got here. Nice guys. All right, let me see what else we got here. All right, I'm gonna go more towards the beginning here because I can't catch up with all this. Um, let's see. Yeah, a lot of Rui love. Let's just put it that way. A lot of Rui love. Okay, so a couple other things that I have on my notes here that I think is, I really do actually think is something here. Why not? Oh, actually, no. Let me give the John Morant thing here, and that's going to lead into some of my next point. So, um, what I would say is this: you're looking at a Memphis Grizzlies team that is now already in a tough situation because you're down 0-1 with the series just starting. By the way, I'm going to leave this right here. Okay, still here, still right here, just right there. Um, it's 0-1 with the series just starting. Okay. The way they play the game, I had somebody on, Jamichael Cole, who covers the Memphis Grizzlies for the Memphis Commercial Appeal, came on the pregame show, and he's like, you guys don't understand. Their whole game plan of how this team was built was Steven Adams is I'm your enforcer down low. I grab boards, I kick it out to Bain, Brooks, John Morant, and I just let these guys go, and they push it up the floor. Not having Steven Adams is already as it's a big loss, and Brandon Clark, but Steven Adams, both of those guys being out. I'm going to read something here. Tim McMahon put this out of ESPN on John Morant. So there's a question. It's a real thing of whether John Morant's going to play or he's not in the next game. It's tough, man, especially with everything I've been through pretty much this season. My main focus was to be out there for my guys. It's another incident where that's pretty much in jeopardy. Okay, I'm going to read off something else here. John Morant said his status for game 2 is in jeopardy. Feels like it's one thing after another, and that there's concern. The concern is his hand, not his wrist, but he's definitely concerned about his ability to play on Wednesday night. Okay, let me just keep that right there. One of the things that we've talked about in the past was the Lakers being in a position that by the time the playoffs start, are you going to have your guys ready and able for when the postseason starts? And here's what's happened so far for the Lakers. LeBron was out for a number of games, came back with 8 games left to go, and had enough time for the run up here to the playoffs. D'Angelo missed games. He's good to go. Mo Bamba, he's there if you need him. Dennis Schroeder missed a couple games. He's ready to go if you need him. Obviously, he's playing and everything else. But the Lakers got healthy at the right time. So not only were they winning games, not only did they end up in that number 2 spot, but the team is getting healthy. There's other teams going the other way. And I only mention that because if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, it's not just a matter of is Ja Morant available and is he going to be on the court? If Ja Morant is not Ja Morant, explain to me how this is a series. How? And this is somebody that gave a prediction before the series started that said Lakers, but I think it's going to be a long series. And I said 7 games. Obviously, this all completely changes if John Morant is not available and he's not good to go. I cannot find out a way that Memphis makes this a series already missing Steven Adams and John Morant is not healthy. Again, it's one thing to have a player on the floor, but is that player healthy? The Lakers, if there's one thing that they kind of had a little bit of a luxury on right now, and today's a perfect example, they were able to win a game where LeBron and Anthony Davis didn't go off. They were able to do that. So I think in this series moving forward, if Ja is not Ja Morant and um does not have, like I said, a really, really big impact on the series. I don't know how the Memphis Grizzlies make this a long series. I'm going to read off another quote. Tim McMahon looking at his Twitter. On Desmond Bain on Rui Hachimura, it's probably the best game of his career. It's a 7-game series. Let's see if he can do it again on Wednesday. Listen, I'm sure part of the game plan in this game was, hey, Rui's going to shoot threes, let him shoot threes. He's happened to hit them. And this isn't going to take away any of his confidence. I think it's only going to help his confidence grow. But he was able to hit them. Tony P, of course, it was a team win, but do you think Rui Austin impacted the game more? Rui or Austin impacted the game more? Well, they both. I think Rui hitting the threes were backbreakers because it seemed like every time he hit a shot, it was at a critical stage of the game, or it was Memphis saying, "We're going to let you shoot the ball, and if you hit that shot, then we're going to live with it." And you could, by Desmond Bain's quote in postgame as well, you could tell obviously that was part of the strategy. Plus, it was more surprising. I've seen Austin Reeves have really good games this regular season. He's been really good for the Lakers. So that one was not as big of a shock to me. I guess what was the shock with Austin Reeves was basically you're going to run things through me over the critical portion of the game, and I'm going to make the decisions, and I'm going to hit a big three, and I'm going to make the big pass, and I'm going to hit the floater. That's what the Lakers did. They ran things through Austin Reeves. So it's a good question, and the Lakers obviously made it happen. Let's see what else we got here. Got to keep Rui and AR-15. Yeah. Listen, one game, but those two guys were obviously incredible for the Lakers. And now the question is going to be, can you come back to crypto.com up 2-0? Hey, listen, you want me to start kind of thinking a little bit further out? I can do that. I think you're going to have a series between the Warriors and the Kings. That's probably going to be a dogfight, right? That's going to be a series where, Sacramento got the first one. I'm sure Golden State will be ready to go in game 2. But that could be a kind of a long, drawn-out series. The question in this series between the Lakers and Memphis is the best player on the other team healthy? That's a major, major question. So if the answer is he's not healthy, and, unfortunately for Memphis, I don't know how you can string out some wins here unless he's a big part of your team. And I only set that up that way. If we said the Lakers look so fresh and we said the Lakers look so good today, why not on Wednesday? You got to kind of take advantage of whatever's in front of you, and we'll see what happens. By the way, even if Ja's there, and Ja's an incredible player, I love watching Ja Morant play. The question is going to be, is he going to be healthy? And that's a major question. Over 600 views. Can we get to 700? Yes, we can. We're past 700. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Let me throw this in here real quick. If you're new to the channel, I put up Lakers content pretty consistently here. So please, if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. It would mean a ton. Just subscribe to the channel, and then we continue the show. Okay, let's do this real quick. Appreciate that. Let's do this real quick as well. Let's just throw this in there. Let's do a little roll call. If you're not familiar with roll call, you just tell me where you're tuning in from. The city, the state, what part of the country, what part of the world, doesn't matter. I'll try to throw some shout outs here, and then we'll look into game 2 here real quick. Post-game show after the post-game show. See, I do the first post-game show on 710 ESPN, and then I do post-game show after the post-game show just with YouTube here. My people. Been doing this for years, by the way. All right, Anaheim in the house. Rochester, New York. Netherlands in the house. Lagos, thank you for tuning in. Albuquerque in the house. Thank you for being a part of the show. Suns Nation, interesting strategy you took right there. Trinidad and Tobago, thank you for being a part of the show. Netherlands, Vegas in the house, Little Italy, San Diego. I feel like you just have to put both of your hands up like that. The Bahamas in the house, thank you for being a part of the show. Brazil. All right, let's keep going here, Laker fans. Let's keep going here. Eastvale, Cali in the house, thank you for being a part of the show. Hong Kong, look at Hong Kong coming in. Goleta, California, creative there. You got my attention. Not gonna lie. Oklahoma City, but from LA. Thank you for being a part of the show. Laker, was just there yesterday. Just in Lake Arrowhead yesterday. Appreciate you being a part of the show. All right, let's see what else we got here. Cal State Fulton in the house. Bless you, Sliwa. No sneeze today. The over-under on the next sneeze. Probably game 2. I would take the under. All right. Tampa, Cypress, Connecticut. Damn it, UConn. Freaking couldn't get San Diego State. Let San Diego State get one. Jesus. So close. Oregon in the house. I appreciate you all being a part of the show. If I don't get you, it's because there's just way too many comments and there's nothing I can do here. All right, I'm going to start previewing game 2. Some of these I'm just going to put them all in there. There we go. Let's get everybody in here. Rosarito in the house. San Pedro in the house. Montreal, DC, Georgia, Philippines. Thank you all for being a part of the show. Okay, let me talk game 2 here real quick, Laker fans. So, couple things kind of stick to me in this upcoming game against Memphis. I think that anytime you're able to steal game 1 right out the gate like the Lakers did on the road, I think it's very, very easy, and this is common in the NBA, it's common in sports, you take your foot off the gas a little bit. It's like, okay, hey, we just needed a split. I was talking about this a couple days ago that I didn't think the Lakers, if they fell 0-2 to Memphis, I didn't feel like they could come back and win the series. And that's why I thought, splitting in Memphis was so important, so key. Usually that win that you get is typically doesn't come in game 1. A lot of times it comes in game 2. You kind of get a chance. You get a little bit of a feel for the other team. They're throwing out their best shot at you right out the gate. And also they got their crowd into it. The Memphis crowd's going to be excited and everything else. I don't see this Lakers team being like a team that's going to take their foot off the gas in game 2. I really don't. I think they smell a little bit of blood in the water. I think even if Ja Morant was healthy, you could tell that, hey, there's some advantages that the Lakers have, whether it's size, whether it's depth, whatever the case is. You got to have a lot of guys that need to play well on the other side for Memphis to, obviously win 4 games or whatever the case is. But I think right now, especially after you get the first one, this doesn't take me much as a team that I think is going to back down a little bit, or they're going to take their foot off the gas, or they're going to just be content and say, well, we got one. Let's just eventually go back. And once we go back to LA, we could go try to get, games 3 and 4. I don't think that's going to be the case. I could see the Lakers trying everything they can to say, let's just get a complete stranglehold on the series by grabbing game 2 and moving on. Now, the encouraging thing, I think, for the Lakers, if you just look at the depth that the Lakers have and the guys that the Lakers have, there's a lot of talent there. That's going to be tough for other teams to, obviously pay attention to on a night in, night out basis. However, Memphis knows they can't go down 0-2. And if they go down 0-2, what do? There's to go down 0-2, and then you have to go back to, Los Angeles down 0-2. It's just probably, you're not expecting anything to happen. So they'll come out incredibly desperate. But I'm going to say this again. I don't think the Lakers are going to take their foot off the gas. I think there's enough veterans on this team. It's led by LeBron and Anthony Davis. They've gone through a championship run before together. Dennis Schroeder's been in this league for a long time. Darvin Ham has been a part of a team that won an NBA championship when he was in Milwaukee. So that's a common thread from teams that feel like, okay, hey, we have an opportunity. We have a chance to see something that, who knows, if you just give away a game. Let me give you a good example. Yesterday, the Golden State Warriors, it felt like, kind of gave away a game to the Sacramento Kings. They had the game for about 3 quarters and then, always had, it seemed like a 6 to a 10-point lead. And then they lost that game. You're not getting that game back. So that will be a game I'm sure that they remember. Now, they could easily come back in game 2 and handle business. But Lakers have to find a way, I think. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where they came out flat or they were distracted or something along those lines. I don't think that's going to happen, in my personal opinion. I think Lakers will be ready for that game. Okay, only other thing that I want to mention as well as we come to a wrap of the show. By the way, thank you all for being a part of the show. Awesome. To get, 750, something like that. I appreciate you all being here. And if you're here, please subscribe to the channel. I'll do this after every Lakers game, post after the post. I have Lakers talk tomorrow night. So I'm going to take that whenever that is done tomorrow, and we eventually finish that show. I will post it up right here on the show. So it'll be 1 hour talking Lakers basketball, taking some calls and things along those lines. So I'll make sure to do that as well, and we can take it from there. I got people already. Look at this. We played one game so far. People already sweeping. I got the brooms on here. If I could be honest, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, and a lot of that is going to be dependent, obviously, on the health of Morant for the rest of the series. So that's a unfortunate circumstance there. But we'll see. See what happens over these next couple of days. Laker fans, 1 down, 15 to go. 1 down, 15 to go, Laker fans. 1 down, 15 to go. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thank you for taking the time to tune into the show. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll throw another one of these up here. Thank you, Laker fans. Lakers over the Grizz, 128-112. 1 down, 15 to go. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thanks, Laker fans.